crazy week, so we won't have any guests. We're just trying to make sense of it all. I'll update you on the Eaton Fire and some final reflections on the life of Dr. Lavonia Allison. Let's prepare for the week ahead. Join me this week on Doing Justice Brings Joy. Hello, everybody. Hi, everybody. This is welcome to Doing Justice Brings Joy. This is our 5th episode, and I am experimenting with doing this myself. You will not see me doing this again, I tell you that. Welcome to this week on Doing Justice Brings Joy. And what a week it has been. Wow. What a week it has been. First, I just want to shout out to the nonprofit center and my girl, Diane Yentl, who stood firm and fought back and brought joy, literally brought joy to millions and millions of people this week when the federal government just out of the blue issued a memo that said that all federal funds were frozen and all programs related to DEI would be, and anything really promoting civil rights, all programs were frozen. The Civil Rights Division of the Department of Justice was completely closed down. But this freezing of trillions of dollars that support federal funds, that support state and local governments, food stamps, SNAP benefits. I'm sorry, I'm old school. Head Start, Medicaid, Medicare, Meals on Wheels, funded in North Carolina 79% of the budget for our Department of Health and Human Services. That's free clinics. That's vaccines. That 79% of the state budget was federally funded. Colleges, universities, any kind of loans. The impact on individual households, the impact on state and local governments, on school systems, on police departments, on fire departments, on nonprofit organizations, that on farmers, on victims of disaster, on Western North Carolina, on FEMA funds, on the fire, folks out in LA experiencing the Eaton Fire. All federal funds, financial assistance to anybody was frozen solid, temporarily suspended until who knows when. But for the stand-up leadership of Diane Yentl and the nonprofit center and the 22 attorney generals, including North Carolina's Jeff Jackson, who filed, did not hesitate did not wait, did not think about it, did not quiver, did not falter, but stood up for justice, stood up for the American people, stood up for North Carolinians, stood up for the nonprofit infrastructure, stood up for the hungry, for the thirsty, for the imprisoned, for the homeless, stood up for justice this week. And when they stood, they did not falter. They did not falter, and they won. The order was rescinded within 48 hours of them stepping up to the plate. That shows us that when we stand together and when we stand firmly in our commitment to justice and equality, and we don't let anybody make us afraid to stand forward, we win. What was it that was a campaign slogan? When we fight, we win. And it shows that even in these darkest hours, if we stand firmly and share with the people what is going on, we win. We win. Diane, if you're watching, if someone will share this with you, you are my shero. What you did today for us this week cannot go unrecognized. It cannot go unrecognized because your fearlessness and decisiveness in standing up for all of the organizations and the communities and neighborhoods and individuals that are served by our nonprofit community. We thank you so much for taking the lead and standing firm for justice. State Attorney General Jeff Jackson, you've been busy in your first couple of weeks in office, filing lawsuits and winning. That's just coming to be a thing for you. And we're just so proud of you and the work that you're doing as well. I want to shout out organizations that have been stepping up in the gap. The NAACP at the national headquarters has been vocal and visible during these times. They have taken the lead in protecting and defending the people in Eaton that suffered during the Eaton Fire. And they have taken stands. It seems like I get a memo, a press release, a memo from the NAACP daily, standing up and shouting out against the injustices that have been plaguing our community, our Black community, during these times. I want to state on the record that the opinions you will be hearing today are mine and mine alone. They do not reflect the positions or the concerns of any organization I may be fully affiliated with, or any folks that I work with. These are my opinions, but it is my duty as an individual to speak truth. That's my duty. I said I wasn't going to tell nobody, but I couldn't keep it to myself. I tried one time to sit on the sidelines, and I couldn't do it. It lasted about 3 months. That's when I allegedly retired. It lasted all of 3 months. In these times, somebody's got to talk about it. Somebody's got to be afraid. I can't be afraid when I see my former colleagues, my former allies taking strong stands for the people. I've got to stand with them. I want to give a shout out to the outgoing chairman of the Durham Committee on the Affairs of Black People, Walter Jackson. And I want to give a shout out to the incoming chairman of the Durham Committee on the Affairs of Black People, Floyd McKissick Jr. Floyd and I grew up together. He's my big brother. My aunt and his mother were really close friends. And he's been fighting for justice. He's been on the front line for justice since he was a child, because he was one of the children who integrated public schools. He was the Durham version of the Little Rock Nine. His body has been on the line for the people his entire life. He, like myself, doesn't know any other way. And I believe that as the Durham Committee on the Affairs of Black People is entering its 90th year of existence, that he's the right leader for this time. I want to shout out all the newly elected members of the executive committee of the Durham Committee on the Affairs of Black People. I'm going to shout out my co-chair, Jackie Wagstaff. We're going to have so much fun. We're going to have so much joy as we speak truth to power and fight against and fight for the community's interests and needs as it relates to housing. There are just so many. My dear friend, and we grew up together too, the Honorable Elaine O'Neill, who was a judge on both the district and the Superior Court benches here in Durham. She was dean of the North Carolina Central Law School. And she is now the chairman of the Durham Committee on the Affairs of Black People's Political Action Committee. Oh, there's going to be some political action going on. I promise you. I promise you. And Jackie's baby boy, oh, I guess we're not supposed to call him that no more, but Donald Hughes, who was raised up to cause good trouble, and he will be serving as the vice chair of the Durham Committee's Political Action Committee. Oh, it's going to be fun. If you're an elected official, you better be doing the right thing. You better be doing the right thing, because we're going to be holding you accountable. You can count on that. You can count on that. So I just wanted to get those shout outs out of the way, because these are the frontline soldiers that at the national level, at the state level, we have Marcus Bass and the Black Alliance. That's going to be holding folks accountable for actions against the community. It's been a busy week, and all the shenanigans have not just been happening at at with the federal funds. One thing I want to bring to your attention, we were supposed to be talking about immigration policy and impact on the Haitian community this week. Unfortunately, one of our guests had death in her family and was not able to be with us. But our other panelists they're underwater. They're struggling right now. 11 executive orders. 11 executive orders targeting the immigrant community came out within the last 2 weeks. 11. For our Haitian community, the temporary refugee program has been suspended, and there are no new refugees will be accepted, and we don't even know what will happen to their temporary status since it's been suspended. What does that mean for people who already have that status here in our country? And so they're busy doing their thing, okay? They're standing and fighting, and they're doing their thing, and we're going to give them a little breathing room to get their fight on and to protect as many folks as they can. What I'm about to share with you all, I want you to understand this is 2025, and the current administration, with its attack on DEI, its attack on civil rights, its attack on the Department of Justice Civil Rights Division, the firing of 17 inspector generals, the firing of members of the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, has given a green light for other states and other industries to do what they want, what they've been dreaming about doing. The Financial Times, I want you to understand, the Financial Times is quoted an individual in the banking industry, and because I don't have it for you to visually see, I want to ask your grace as I expose the level of contemptible bigotry and misogyny that has been unleashed as financial institutions go on the record of removing their DEI policies. This one industry, and look, I want to make clear, the Financial Times is not talking to your teller or your branch manager or or some representative from your regional office. The Financial Times doesn't have time to talk to them. So you have to understand that while this was anonymous, right? No name was exposed. that we're talking about somebody at the upper echelons of this financial institution. If you don't believe me, look it up in the Financial Times. Again, give me grace, because I'm going to use language that cuts my soul. But you need to have this understanding about what has been unleashed and have no mistakes about it. This financial industry leader said to the Financial Times, an internationally highly respected, more on par with what we would respect of the Wall Street Journal. I would say a little bit more, but he said, I am so glad. I can say the word retard and pussy and not feel like I'm being canceled. Yes, that's what he said. And no, I'm not going to repeat that file out of my mouth again. If you want to say, did he say that? Rewind when we get the tape version of this. But that was a financial leader who said that. He wanted to have the freedom to use those terms in public, in boardrooms, in meetings, without being canceled. Now, at this point, I'm going to do something I never thought I'd do in my life, and y'all who know me know. I'm going to shout out Jamie Dimon with JP Morgan Chase, because he stood firm and he said, bring it. When the press asked him, aren't you concerned about keeping your DEI policy? He was like, bring it. Jamie Dimon, this is the first shout out you have ever received coming out of my mouth. And I hope it's not the last, because you stood strong for the people. You stood strong for equity. You stood strong for inclusion. And I thank you and I shout you out for that. But for you, unknown, anonymous financial banking leader in the United States, I'm hunting you down. Know that. Know that. For you financial institutions who have withdrawn your DEI policies, I'm making a list, I'm checking it twice, and then I'm going to shout you out in a negative way. Beware. Costco, let's go. Costco, let's go. Thank you, Costco, and your board, your unanimous board of directors stance that you will stand, and that diversity, equity, and inclusion is part of your business plan. It's good for your business. It has created one of the lowest job turnover rates in the industry. Job retention fails in the wholesale shop industry. Other industry players have 55% turnover of employees per year. 55% turnover in employees per year. But Costco, only 8%. Only 8%. Because people love working there. Because people are seen there. Because people are valued there. So if you got one of those other warehouse club cards, you might want to, because they've made themselves clear about where they stand on diversity, equity, and inclusion. I suggest that you spend the money and join Costco and let that other warehouse club card expire. Costco, let's go. Thank you for standing for diversity and inclusion. Finally, my last shout out in this section related to equity and inclusion is going to a cosmetic company called E.LD.F. I guess is what they call it. I don't know. I didn't know this company, but I will know this company. When I talk about stepping up and standing out, Elf went even beyond that. Okay. They have done a campaign in support of diversity, equity, and inclusion. And the name of this campaign is Too Many Dicks. And there's some double entendre in that. But what they reported, the seriousness of this is that according to their research, and you can go and see their promotion, look for their promotion on any of your social media sites, E.L.F. company, cosmetic company. Their research showed that there are more on Fortune 500 companies boards. There are more men, white men named Richard, Rich, or Dick. There are more men named Richard, Rich, or Dick on Fortune 500 boards than the entire number of women and minority board members combined. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. There are more white men named Richard, Rich, or Dick sitting on corporate boards than all the women and minorities and underrepresented groups combined. And yet they want to get rid of DEI programs. Because, we're taking up too much space. Like they can see us. And now I'm going to talk to my friends in Indiana and I don't even know, and I don't even know. I don't even know what to say to my friends in Indiana, because I have spent years working with the people of Indiana. I have been to Gary, Indiana. I've been to so many cities in Indiana that I think they even put me on their website. Evansville. Oh, there's just so many places. Indianapolis. I spend so much time there that I even attend the statewide meetings of the various human relations commissions on a yearly basis. But that your governor, and again, these are my words, my thoughts, but y'all ought to know how I'm feeling. The governor of Indiana left out of the state's 2025 to 27 budget proposal. Indiana Governor Mike Braun, this is from Black Enterprise magazine. Indiana Governor Mike Braun's 2025-2027 budget proposal excludes Martin University, the only predominantly Black university receiving state funding. And they left it out of the budget. The one Black institution, predominantly Black institution, and this aligns with his anti-DEI stance, who is receiving criticism from lawmakers who call the decision discriminatory and harmful to Black and minority students. Advocates vowed to support Martin University as budget debates continue. Wow. Wow, people. Wow. They've really been waiting to get this permit, this green light. And they are flying through as if they're on a drag strip. Indiana. This is a disgrace to the people of Indiana. I know them. I have worked with them. I have their commitment to fairness. Though conservatively based, they believe in opportunity. Their commitment to, you can come to justice from a conservative or a progressive lens, but you have to have, you're both moving towards justice. I have worked with so many developers, so many human rights personnel, so many human relations and human rights organizations. I have worked with the leadership at the state. The previous governors were very pro-justice, but they came at it from a conservative point of view. And once they recognized an injustice, they were quick to fix it. They were quick to address it, and they were aggressive about doing it. One of my mentors in the fair housing movement was out of Indiana and out of a Republican administration. I'm not even going to put this mess on the Republican Party on conservatives, because this is not the very conservative people I know in Indiana, but they are not people who would support this activity. And again, this is a disclaimer. This is Indiana Governor Mike Braun is cruel and he is racist. These statements are mine and mine alone and do not reflect on any of the beautiful, wonderful people that I have worked with from the state of Indiana. How do you leave Martin University out of your budget? How do you do that? You're shameful. You're absolutely shameful. And you're a disgrace to the great people of Indiana. I'm just going to shout that out. Again, these are my words. These are my words. Oh, but if you think that's shameful, oh, Mississippi. Really? Really, Mississippi? Really? And y'all are saying, Stella, what are you talking about? I'm talking about Mississippi House Bill 1484 that was introduced this week. This has been one heck of a week, people, and I'm just getting started. But I'm going to spend some particular attention on this. HB 1484. We are in the year 2025. And I'm going to say this is going to be the immigrant rights segment of this show. If you are an undocumented immigrant, if you are a immigrant who attended college in Mississippi and overstayed your visa, if you are an immigrant with temporary residency status, if you are here are in Mississippi, oh Lord, if you're here, if you're in Mississippi and you have an accent, even though you're a legal resident, even though you're a naturalized citizen, run, Forrest, run. Run, Forrest, run. Get the hell out of Mississippi today. Do not pass go. If you're in a job where you can transfer, put in your transfer papers now. If you're in one of those auto plants and get out, as the movie said, get out. HB 1484 is, and I'm going to read this exact because I need y'all to understand that if Mississippi gets away with this, if you're in the South, this might be happening to you. An act to create the Mississippi Illegal Alien Certified Bounty Hunter Program. Yes, folks, we're talking about going back to patty rollers. Y'all need to know some history. I'm going to have to be dropping some to protect Black history next week. An act to create the Mississippi Illegal Alien Certified Bounty Hunter Program to provide definitions for, to authorize bail bond agents and surety agents to enter the program, to create the crime of illegal trespass by an illegal alien. Get out. To bring forward different sections of different codes in the Mississippi thing, which provide for bail agents and penalties for skipping bail for purposes of amendment and for related purposes. Y'all think I'm playing? Type it into your Google or Bing. See what you see. See if I'm lying to you. To be enacted by the legislature of the state of Mississippi. This has gone to Judiciary B of State Affairs, and this was introduced by, if you live in Mississippi, Representative Keene, K-E-E-N. Oh, I'm exposing this because this is crazy. So let's see what the definitions are. For the purposes of this act, the following words shall have the meanings described herein. Certified bounty hunter. Did you hear that, people? Means a person who possesses a valid, unexpired license as a bail bond agent, general bail bond agent, or a surety recovery agent, and is certified under this act. Oh, listen to me, people. To find and detain. To find and detained illegal aliens in this state. That's what a certified bounty hunter is under this proposed legislation. Department is defined as the Department of Public Safety. Illegal alien means a person who is not lawfully present in the United States as defined and described under Article 8 U.S. Code, Section 1101, it's sequential. Life imprisonment means imprisonment for the duration of a person's natural life. This is the penalty for being an illegal alien in the state of Mississippi. Run, Forrest, run. Get out now while you can. A peace officer means a duly certified law enforcement officer of a municipality, county, the state, or a political subdivision of the state. A person commits the offense of trespass by an illegal alien if such person is A, an illegal alien, B, knowingly enters this state and remains in this state. This might be a method to save some people. Knowingly enters this state, and remains in this state. And C is physically present in the state at the time a licensed bounty hunter or a peace officer apprehends such person. Run, Forrest, run. And don't even enter the state. Find a highway that will, you got to go around Mississippi if you are driving. Or if you're driving, don't speed and don't stop. Make sure you get gas before you get in Mississippi. Make sure you get some food before you get in Mississippi. And drive within the speed limits. Make sure all your equipment is up so they don't have no reason to stop you. And ride through, no, non-stop if you have to pass through. Because you would be knowingly entering that state. And there's no definition about how long you have to remain in the state. As long as they catch you, if you're physically present in the state at the time, I guess that's what remains, a licensed bounty hunter or peace officer apprehends you. The offense of trespass by an illegal alien under this section is a felony for which the authorized term of imprisonment is life imprisonment without eligibility for probation, parole, conditional release, or release except by act of the governor or the natural death of a person. In other words, you will become chattel property slave to the state of Mississippi. Run, Forrest, run. Get out of Mississippi while you can. I'm going to repeat that because I want you to understand that. The offense of trespass by an illegal alien under this section is a felony for which the authorized term of imprisonment is life imprisonment without eligibility for probation, parole, conditional release, or release except by act of the governor or natural death of the person. If that's not chattel slavery, somebody put the definition in the chat. Y'all think I'm playing. Read it for yourself. The provisions of this section shall not apply if the federal government enters into a written agreement with the department to take such person into custody and within 24 hours of such person being committed to the custody of the federal government, deport such person. So, deportation takes more than 24 hours, so this penalty is not real. A person who commits the offense of trespass by an illegal alien shall forever be disqualified from registering and voting in any election under the laws of this state, securing any certificate or registration or authority, permit, or license to drive under the laws of this state, applying for or receiving any state or local public benefit offered by this state or political subdivision of this state, and becoming a legal resident of this state. Here's another insidious thing. Each person who is apprehended under this section shall provide a DNA sample under the same procedures for collecting a DNA sample described by law. And you say, Stella, why are you concerned about that? Because with that DNA sample, they can determine who your residents are. Okay? They can determine who your relatives are. They can go and get your children and put your children in this chattel slavery. They can find your nieces and nephews and put them into chattel slavery if they can't prove that they're here legally. And then with the potential definition of birthright citizenship in jeopardy, they can, this DNA sample is just why you're going to have them in prison forever anyway. Why are you going to do this? Now here, this is just so ridiculous. Yet it's been introduced in and been talked about in some other legislatures. Don't get it twisted. If Mississippi passes this bill, it's going to be introduced across this nation. The department shall develop and maintain an information system that operates at all times and provides various means to receive and maintain reports of violations of this act. The various means of receiving such reports shall include, but are not limited to, a toll-free snitch line. A toll-free telephone hotline, email address, and an online reporting portal. The department shall periodically publicize the hotline number, email, and internet website address, and any other means by which the department may receive such reports. A person who makes a report under this section may choose to remain anonymous until the person affirmatively consents to have the person's identity disclosed. In other words, anonymous snitching. The information system shall be staffed by 65 off-duty peace officers, retired peace officers, and any other peace officer deemed qualified by the department to staff the information system. And if an illegal alien is arrested and imprisoned under this section as a result of a report to the information system, the person who made the report shall be eligible to receive a reward of $1,000 for providing such report. Is this the Soviet Union? Is Mississippi going to have its own KGB? What the heck? I'm reading this to you live. This is real. This is real. This is 2025 and this is real. Wake up. Get the hell out of Mississippi. The department shall develop and implement Mississippi Illegal Alien Certified Bounty Hunter Program, which is hereby created to certify applicants to the program as certified bounty hunters for purposes of finding and detaining illegal aliens in this state under this section. The program shall be administered by the department under the following application and certification procedures. A person who possesses a valid unexpired license as a bail bond agent, general bond agent, or surety recovery agent under sections may apply to the department to become a certified bounty hunter. The department will accept applications Once applications are received, notwithstanding the provisions contrary, any monies remaining in the fund at the end of the time revert to the credit of the General Revenue Service. That was just section 1, but I'm running out of time. I'll read the rest for yourself. I've read to you the pertinent parts. It's supposed to take effect and enforce if passed on July 1 of 2025. July 1 of 2025. This bill has been received by the Judiciary B Committee on State Affairs. It was introduced by Representative King. I don't have words. I don't have words. I got 5 minutes left and I don't have words. See, in your mind, undocumented people are Latinx folks coming from the border. But the reality is, it's Canadians. There are actually more undocumented Canadians in America than there are from Mexico. I'm just speaking truth. Because, they can just walk in the library and go and get a book on the U.S. side and they're good. This undocumented, unlawfully in the United States are people who have expired visas. This predominantly impacts college students, people who came here for college, got a job, internship, got a job, and never changed that from a college visa to a work visa. Hundreds of thousands of people. Maybe not so much in Mississippi. But I can tell you that it's estimated that the number of undocumented people in North Carolina is 325,000. 325,000. So I imagine that there's a similar number of people primarily working in the agricultural and the construction industries who are in danger in Mississippi. This order does not care if you're Canadian, Ukrainian, German. Don't they have German plants in you're a guest visitor from a plant and you're going to check on the auto plant in Mississippi, you might get detained and put in prison for life. I want y'all to think about Brittany Griner and how horrible we thought that her treatment was. I want you to think about all the Americans who have been inhumanely detained in Russia and other countries around the world, and think about what they're about to do in Mississippi. At least those sentences had end dates. They weren't for life. They weren't enslaved. Y'all, pray. We had victories this week. We must celebrate them. We have warriors fighting on the ground against injustice every day. This will not stand. This will not happen, Indiana. This will not happen, Mississippi. You forget 50% of the people in Mississippi are people of color. You better wake up. But in the meantime, for my migrant brothers and sisters, get out. Get out. You got to July 1, 2025 to get your shit together and get out. Well, take a deep breath in. Take one out. And I'll look forward to seeing you next week on Doing Justice Brings Joy. Thank you so much for today's episode.
It's a cover to dream the impossible dream, to fight the unbeatable foe, to bear with unbearable sorrow, and to run where the brave dare not go, to right the unright.